how can I support you in getting your ideas about functional medicine, diet, exercise out into the world, which is like kind of my part of that process. And then how can you help me Phil Phails for you guide my journey through physical fitness and nutrition and that, and then how do we make it in a way that's really palatable and entertaining for people that watch it, so they want to watch it. So there's those three things, which I think we talked about maybe a little bit. And so on my part, I think it's like, so there's like data that I could share with you, whether that's the my DEXA scan or my food log, or I don't have it now, but we could talk about how to get it. I could get like blood work. And we could talk about that in the future. If that was something, that'd be something. So I'm just I don't have it now, but I have the food log and the DEXA scan. And we could just talk about what we're going to do in the future too, and not go over any of this. But I could also talk about my exercise routine, because I have a pretty consistent exercise routine, like what my movement looks like throughout the week. I could talk about, like, that's the data type of stuff. What are the data comes in? I mean, you talked about poop stuff.
So microbiome is something I do a lot on. We can talk about it probably more than anything else, because we can talk.
What other kind of indicators or biomarkers for health do you look at?
So I think part of my thought is maybe just talking about how I tend to approach things with a client. So like maybe even saying, like, if you were a new client, here's the things that I would ask, and here's the things that I would look at. And the process I would take you through. I mean, obviously some of that, but like the process of what that would look like. I think. And so some of that is, so food logs one, labs is one. We could talk about a DEXA scan. I don't know that I'd want to spend a lot of time with that more unless you had specific goals, right? Like I have a goal of this. I think it can be so different for every different person. So it's about like, what are your goals? Like I might have a client come to me that wants to lose 80 pounds or 20 pounds or 5 pounds, right? But I might have a client who just wants to feel good. Or, like I want to have energy, or I want to have muscle tone, or they're having a bunch of like hormonal symptoms, or, whatever. And so like somebody who wants to lose 50 pounds is going to be really different than the female who eats pretty healthy, wants to lose 5 pounds, but doesn't feel good. Right.
So it's really based on the question.
It's based on
the outcome that they want.
The outcome you want. And I always ask people, how would you know that you hit your ultimate health without a scale? So without the data. So the data can help me, especially with lab work, because it can tell me what the insides look like. I do love a GI map, so I could talk about that in general, just like what that gives me and what I see with different people, and I don't know whether you'd be interested in doing one or whatever, and just kind of talking about the benefits of that.
I had a colonoscopy recently. Is that similar? What is a GI map? Okay.
So a GI map looks at your stool, and it looks at the bacteria. So it looks for pathogens. It looks for parasites. It looks for worms.
Let's talk about
good bacteria. Looks at bad bacteria.
Let's talk about the data, or the bio, what are the indicators?
Biofeedback?
Yeah. The things, the indicators you use to see where they are and to see whether or not they're going in the direction you want them to go, so that folks know that. Let's talk about the outcomes.
And other things that I would be asking you, other biofeedbacks, like your sleep, your stress, your water,
all those. We'll go into all those. Some of those are just like, what are your rituals currently, right?
What are your rituals?
And how they can change.
And how they could change, or how they're impacting you, because somebody might sleep 5 hours and they have really restorative sleep. So sleep tracking can be cool. Somebody might sleep 8 hours but have like terrible quality sleep. And how that impacts things, or the things that impact sleep. And I kind of also I tell all my clients this, I look at where they want to go from a triangle perspective. I look at the inside, I look at the outside, and then I look at the mind.
Okay.
So
then so that's one part. The other part is that the kind of prescription is catering to their particular outcome. But I imagine it's like,
but also
you're moving towards health in general.
Yeah.
Right. So if you move,
can be very similar.
It's kind of like yoga. How like if you can go to hatha, you can go to yin, you can go to yin. They're all kind of moving you through the same asanas. Sure. There might be some subtle differences, like in yin, you might hold a pose a little bit longer, but they're all moving you towards health. Yeah. So there's this thing where if you move all of the people towards health, they're going to have a resolution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's where the particulars are in strategy. I always tell people I'm a strategist. I'm more than likely not going to blow someone's mind on what to do. Most people know. Yeah. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Don't eat too much. Eat, whatever. Yeah. Right. Most people know move your body. Most people know what to do. A lot of what I do is helping them strategize with their life. How do I help you do that?
They might want a taskmaster though too. They might want to, what do they call a findom? That's where you have like a kinky, a dominating person that helps you with your financing. They might want a newt dom. Right. Just dominate me nutritionally. Yeah. I'm just joking.
No, but it's true. I always tell people, if you do it for me in the beginning, because they're paying me and they want to, I don't know, please me. I don't know how to say that. They want to do a good job. They want their gold star. Yeah. Right. I want to feel good. And so I always tell people, if you do it for me first, great. But my goal is for you to do it for yourself, because my goal for everybody is to give them tools to be able to do it long term. Right. I want to help them create a healthy lifestyle. And so if they come and they want to lose 50 pounds, great. But I don't want to just help you lose 50 pounds. I want to help you lose 50 pounds and then age gracefully.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to help them create that. And the way I help them create that is through strategy. Yeah. And so because I have to help them figure out their stress and how they cook with kids or a picky husband or with their cravings and where their food cravings come from. And so a lot of it is not what to do, but how to do it with their mind and their life and their body and their family. And
how do you fit it into the current, their world? Yeah. In a way that's like gonna work.
The way it's gonna work.
Yeah, because you can be like, this is the optimal, but the optimal is not gonna work for you because I've talked to you enough. Yeah. We need to find the thing that will work for you.
And it's also what I tell people, because I offer a free consultation for people, because I'm like, I'll give you a free consultation. I'll tell you what we can do. And we talked earlier or mentioned earlier about the things I learned from being a new dietitian. When I was a brand new dietitian, I would offer, and this was like under an umbrella of a company, but I also offered free consultations, but I would give everything. I'd be like, here's all the things. Here's all the things you need to do. And then not only would they not be successful, but they wouldn't come back because they had the information.
I'm going to write it down and then I'm just going to do what you said.
I'm not good at it, but it's not her fault. So whatever.
But you want to be a partner with them.
I do. And that's really important. That's what I learned, I guess, the hard way, but is really, I can't give you everything. I can't give them everything at once because they probably know a lot of it already. Yeah. It's more like, what's in their way? And it's different for everybody. It could be trauma. It could be stress. It could be emotions. It could be sleep. It could be hormones. It could be,
there's so many different things.
And so that's all right, let's try a couple of things and let's build a house. Let's layer one layer of bricks. Yeah. And if we need to switch that out for a different brick, then we'll do that. And then we'll lay a second layer of bricks. And
is there any concern about not sharing everything in this context?
No, I don't think so. I think
the reason I mentioned that is, I'm ADHD. Yeah, I think likewise. You are too. Yeah, a couple of ADHD folks here. And I got into magic. That was one of my little shiny things that I got really into. And so I was watching videos online and I found that a handful of people would just give up the ghost. They'd be like, here's exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Yeah. And when I tried to do it, I realized that them showing me and telling me how to do it was not what
you needed.
Well, it wasn't what allowed me to actually do it. Right. It was 10,000 hours. Sure. Like they're showing me the most advanced skills. And really, you would still work with them because there's like 100 steps to get you to where you'd be proficient.
It's like being a new dietitian. I I needed the practice hours
Yes.
to be good at presenting information.
Right.
At reading the person, at discovering what they need and partnering, and also the rapport. Like,
yeah.
And because if somebody doesn't trust me, then they're not gonna listen or try. Right?
Yeah. So I got like kind of this biofeedback section, which is kind of the what. The why is really important, like from them. And then the strategy, which you've said a couple times, seems to be the how.
Which we could do that for you. Like, what do you want and why do you want this?
I want to do it for me. First, we could do it because I think that's the part of like you supporting me part. But then the presentation is like, how do you support everybody?
Right. And so I don't even think that I could give everything today if I wanted to, because it's so highly, when it's so highly individually, we don't have time. But I'm just saying in general, like you said, is there any concern to it? I'm like, there's not a concern, but I won't. Like, there's just no way.
You couldn't.
Yeah. Because also, you know, even if I had your lab work and your GI map, we wouldn't have time. To me. But it would be unique to you.
It would be my how. It would be my why. It would be my biofeedback. That makes total sense. So what we can present.
And that's why I say talking about like what I would do, and I can, you know, kind of jump in and out of personalizing that for you. But like, this is the big picture. And then like, let's talk about what that would look like for you.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So we showcases like your depth of knowledge, your bedside, like how you communicate. We can showcase, you know, the way you go about supporting someone. And then you can support me in whatever way feels good for both of us.
Yeah.
And they can see kind of what it would be like.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing that with some people, like the shadow work facilitator. He's going to do a shadow work facilitation with me. We're going to do it first off camera.
Yeah.
Because he was saying like a lot of intimate stuff come up. And he was like, you might want this to happen, like
just in case.
Just the two of us. And then we can see how you feel about doing it. Because I want to do it on camera. I want to like capture these frameworks and modalities for healing. And I think this is a really strong relationship for healing and growth.
Absolutely.
So I want to showcase that.
Yeah.
And if it means showing these people my poop, you know, I'm willing to do that for you guys. You know, how many people say like a lot of people saw my poop?
No, the funny thing is, I think I told you this when we talked.
Someone sent you a poop pic?
Yes.
You told me that.
And the funny thing is even though
you don't want that,
quote unquote, analyze people's poop, I don't actually look at their poop.
You don't want the pictures.
I send them a kit. They send a kit to a lab. I get the results. That is how I analyze the poop. I don't need the picture. Now, that said, I do also talk about bowel movements because are they getting enough fiber, you know, and like all the things? How's your digestion working? Are you bloated? Are you gassy or whatever? And I may have mentioned this to you too, actually, because it's the person who sent me the picture. But I was working with a woman and you know, 67-year-old woman, not that it matters. And so I had, you know, we were talking about bowel movements and all that. And she's like, well, and, you know, she kind of laughed about it. And I said, look, I'm a dietitian. I talk about poop all day long. It's okay. No, you know, I'm not nervous about it. If you're nervous, that's okay. But like, you don't need to be. I just like straight up question. Are you constipated? Do you have diarrhea? Do you have gas? Whatever. Just, are you bloated? What does it look like? But it's funny. Her husband walked into the room and he had known that she and I'd been working together for a while. And he said, can I ask her a few questions? And I'm like, because I do mostly Zoom. So we're, you know, talking face to face and absolutely. And he, you know, again, probably similar age. I was like mid 60s to 70s. And he's like, I feel really uncomfortable doing this, but she promised me it's okay that I can talk to you about my poop.
This is a safe space for number 2, y'all.
This is a safe space. Give it to me. I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
But it's funny to watch people be bashful about it. And then every now and then you have somebody who's not bashful at all. And you're like, well, I didn't need quite that much information.
It's either too much or too little. Huh? It's like, there's
never mind. You can give me too much. I'll take what I need.
I mean, yeah.